This is Frank with CFG Global and GalacticModeler.com. We have about 70 lighting kits available. And what we're doing here is we're just going to show you something you can apply to any model build. This happens to be the B-9 robot, and he's just in the beginning stages. He's not painted silver yet. We've got his plate here. We're going to attach lights to that and show you how to get them blinking. We're going to put his chest plate in and show you how that's going to pulsate. You will have to take the chest plate back piece and you're going to have to Dremel tool it out, cut it out to put the clear over, and then you can slide it in there, glue it in, and the chest plate will then pulsate. It wasn't built for lighting, so a lot of times with models you do have to cut areas out. Now, we've got his brain going here, and what we did with that, you can see all these little fiber optic pieces. What we did is we put a slow flashing and a fast flashing, and then we just put the fiber optics through the hole, holes. You're going to have to drill the holes. You can make as many brain lights as you want. And in this case, I added quite a few, and they look really cool. Once it's in his clear head, they flash at different rates, and it looks very similar to the B-9 robot on the television series. So there's his dee-dee-dee. And again, how you do that is you just cut the fiber optic pieces, you glue in your two LEDs, just glue them flat to the bottom of this piece, and then drill holes, and then put your fiber optics in, and I used CA glue, super glue with zip kicker to make it fast, and just push them in, glue it to the bulb, glue it to the bulb, glue it to the bulb, and make sure you do every other one, like this one to the fast bulb, the next one to the slow bulb, the next one to the fast bulb. You got to take your time and be really careful, and you could glue them right directly to the bulb, and then when you're all done, use some black paint and paint the fiber optics and paint the bulbs just to reduce light flash around in areas you don't want or need it. We're going to do a little fast tutorial on fiber optics here too. Now, say you're doing, I just built a USS Enterprise E just recently, and I actually used the fiber optics themselves for the port starboard front marker light and the rear marker lights, all running off a slow flashing fiber optic supply. And what happened is then I just ran the fiber optics to each of those areas, making sure I gave myself enough length to get back to the light source, and that's all you really have to do. Just run them from wherever you're going to put them to where you're going to have the light source, and give yourself enough room. When you're ready to glue the ship together and connect everything, then pre-tested, of course, and everything's ready to go. I'm going to show you a little trick with fiber optics real quick here. Just got to get a piece. Hold on. Here's a piece. Now, when most of our kits with the light source, it comes in like a little kind of a black tube, so you run all your fiber optics to that flashing or strobing tube, so that you get your port starboard front marker lights, rear marker lights all flashing at the same rate. Now, with fiber optics, when you cut them, you're going to put them in your ship or car or whichever model you're working on, and you'll see when you touch the fiber optic to the bulb, it lights up on the end. And what you need to do to get the maximum brightness out of these fiber optics, there's a little fiber optic end that's touching the bulb. To get the maximum brightness, take a cigarette lighter, and just a minute here, I should have this on a tripod, but it's easier to work with my hands. Take a cigarette lighter and just, here, I'll set it like this. There. And there's the fiber optic. Take a lighter and just real lightly touch the end until you see it kind of balloon, or it'll kind of turn into a little mushroom. And do that on both ends before you connect it into your light source, or before you have it, sticking out of what area it's going to stick out of. Now you'll see when I touch it to the light again, it's way brighter, because when you expand the end of it like that, it makes it double in size, maybe triple in size, and you have a lot brighter fiber optic light coming to wherever you're going to place it. Whether it's here we go. There we go. I just got to get it lined up just right. There. Yeah, come on. Almost got it. Just a minute. All right. And when you get it set up like that, you'll have like super bright. There we go. Super bright LED transfusion to the end of the fiber optic, as you can see. Yeah, that's great. So now this is a static light, but if it was flashing, then that little fiber optic would be going bing, 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 strobing. So that's a basic principle. Run them to where you're going to put the fiber optics, and then get them the length you want, melt the ends. Now, if you're in certain ships like starships, or it could be a lot of things, Klingon ships, if there's a plastic bulb that came with the ship that goes in the port, starboard, front markers, wherever, you can take a pin vise drill and just drill up into that little clear bulb that they gave you, that little clear piece of dome plastic, and then insert your fiber optic up into that area, and then glue it with CA glue, and then of course run all those fiber optic strands to your strobing source, and bang, you've got. And the nice thing, we used to use bulbs a while back, but they wouldn't always flash at the same rate, and we found this system works perfect. Also, the bulbs would look too bright oftentimes and look kind of silly, and this actually makes the bulbs soften down. It's plenty of light. You get plenty of strobe. You can see that in a lot of our videos on YouTube. And once you've done that, you've got a perfect port, starboard, front marker, rear marker light, just real nice strobing, and it's not this big blob bulb overlit. I just saw a YouTube video. A guy did a beautiful starship, but he had too big of bulbs and everything. It just looked, yeah. Anyway, that's what we're doing. We're always trying to figure out ways to make these kits better and better. But when you look at the B-9 robot now, you can see his brain's just working, and they're flashing at different rates. And then, you have to take this little stock that goes up into his head. We supply real thin microwire. You got to grind it out a little bit inside. There's a couple little chunks in there you don't need. Just clean it all out. Run your super fine wire up into there, and then you'll run that down to your battery source. Now I'm going to cut this out and do a few other things. I'll come back in just a minute. I'm going to show you how to actually wire a whole model and not have to solder. And that's why a lot of our ads and a lot of our things say soldering not required. Because you can actually twist the ends together, use a little bit of super glue and some zip kicker, bang, and move to the next light. And I'll show you that here in a bit. But first we're going to grind out the little B-9 robot here and get him ready to go. I'll be back in a second. Okay, now we have the B-9's back plate where the clear pieces go cut out, and it's pretty mangled. So I'll take a hobby knife and clear it all up, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, here we can see where we've got the whole brain area glued together, and his brain is working real well. It's flashing at different rates like it's supposed to. So it won't be long, we'll put this B-9's bad boy brain in him and get it all fired up. Yeah, that's really cool. And we've got his chest plate. Well, it's kind of the light in here. I've got like a 200 billion watt bulb, so we'll turn the lighting off so you can see it better. But the chest plate's flashing real nice. So when the robot's talking. And then what we did is we on the lower instrument plate, what we did is we glued the LEDs right straight to the back of the clear plate, and just mixed them up so that there's a slow flash, a fast flash, so on and so on. And I'll stick it in the front faceplate here so you can see what it looks like. And there it is. That looks pretty cool. So you just glue them in opposite of each other, up, down, up, down, up, down, slow flash, flash, fast flash, and what you get is like a computer simulation of his chest plate area. His computer's working. That looks cool. And he's talking away, and his brain's flashing. So now all I got to do is put everything back together, glue it all together, and we're done. A lot of our kits say soldering not required, and the reason that we do that or say that is because there are other ways to attach wires to your whole system and bulbs. In this case here, I've got an LED wired into the main power, and all you have to do is get yourself some extreme power like a super glue. I recommend medium or thick, and all you need to do is just prop it up a little. I recommend getting a tweezer or something like that, and then just put a drop. There we go. There we go. I'm just going to add a little more here just to be safe. Okay. The glue bottle is a little bit globbed up. Here we go. So just put a dab like that and a dab like that. Then make sure you buy yourself some accelerator. This is called Extreme Power Accelerator with for use with APS adhesive products, CA glue, crazy glue, whatever you want to call it. And then you just give it a little spray, and that will make the glue harden up real fast. And as you can see, it hasn't affected the lighting or the connections or anything. And there you go. You don't have to solder. You can go through your whole model, whatever you're building, and just put a dab of super glue on each wire connection and keep moving on. So, and you can't pull it off. I mean, once it's on there, it's just as good as solder. So there you have it. Another way to connect wires without soldering. So that's why all our kits say, you know, soldering not required. So happy modeling, guys. And there's a little trick for you. Okay, guys, here's the B-9 robot lighting installed. All that's left now is to put on his arms and his legs and his little roller tracks, and he's done. Anyway, he turned out real nice. He's got a nice flashing display here that blinks at different intervals. That's his computer working. His chest is all lit up and blasting. He's blabbing away. But I'm going to tell you, I've built hundreds of models, and this was definitely a challenge. So just take your time. The hardest thing was, you know, these little, his brain up here, getting that all to, you know, fit in and work off two different LEDs at different rates to make the brain flash at different rates. But it was definitely, it was fun, but definitely a challenge. So just take your time, and this this part of the DVD is, you know, just to show you how to do smaller projects. The Enterprise E is included in this DVD. So between all of them, it pretty much shows you fiber optics, LED placement, wiring. I mean, you know, between the two, you can build anything. So it's not that hard, but you just have to take your time. Yeah, he's going to be cool. It'll be a cool add-on to the addition of my model room. Yeah, he's cool. All right, B-9 robot. Okay, modelers, I finally got the B-9 robot put together. I got his tracks on, his legs on, and everything on. And he's good to go. Yeah, I'm really happy with this guy. And our lighting kit works super on it. He's got his chest flashing, he's got his computer working at different rates. Ding, 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 ding. Looks really good. This was a very challenging model, but if you're up for the challenge, I highly suggest it. It's very, very sharp when you're done, and you feel a lot of reward and accomplishment. That's what model building is all about, is the fun of it and having it done, and the conversation piece when your friends come over, flip the switch and go, hey, look what I did. Brings back my old memories of Zachary Smith and the robot and Will Robinson, Lost in Space. I was just a little kid. Oh boy, it was a fun show. It was cheesy, but it was fun. Back in the day, we hadn't seen any real high-def CGI and everything, so this was pretty amazing to us. Anyway, how I mounted the switch, it's got a 2 AA battery box in it. And the battery's right underneath. There it is. It lodges in there just perfect. You can put the pads on back on over it with glue dots if you want to. I'm just going to leave them off because it's underneath. Switch is right there. I just ground a nice little oval hole and glued it in and ran the wires up through his legs and body, up into his chest and head. Watching these 3 videos now, you know, you've seen the Enterprise E build, you've seen the Star Destroyer Star Wars build, the Avenger, and B-9 robot. Between all of them, there really isn't a model that you shouldn't be able to go and build and light now. I mean, just follow a lot of the stuff that I've laid out for you. You know, start where you're going to put your switch, run your power wires to your sections, you know, whether they be hulls or saucers or nacelle areas, and get them all done. Pull the wires together, pull your fiber optics into your fiber optic light source, and you know, check everything out, flip the switch, make sure everything's working, you know, and then glue her together and then seal it. If there's still any little light leaks, you know, use contour putty or black paint and then paint over it with the color of the ship. That's pretty much it. A lot of guys are scared of lighting their models. They really want to do it, but we get hundreds of emails where they say, I'm a nooge and I'm this and I'm that and I'm afraid, you know, and it's like they want to do it, but they think it's this big, huge, you know, overwhelming rocket science scenario, and it's really not. You know, it's just running wires and LED lights and fiber optics, and it's tough. When I first started, I was overwhelmed too, so, you know, I understand the overwhelm factor because, you know, it just seems so, how the hell do I do this, you know? But it's really not tough. I mean, once you get it, and, you know, once you do a couple models, it's, after that, the rest are just, you can just bing, 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 bing. So, you know, in the first model, just refer back to this DVD on any, you know, points of question, or email us and, you know, we'll give you a hand. Anything you run into a stump. You know, the main thing is just remember, you know, it's a hobby and it's for fun. You know, if you want to make it studio correct, go for it. If you just want to have fun, put, you know, LEDs and fiber optics in different places than it shows in the movies, and experiment and have, you know, play around, and you probably come up with something better looking than what the movie had. You know, you just take your time and, you know, enjoy it. But I've had a cold through all this footage, so I apologize for the hacking, gagging, and all that crap. But I had to get this done, especially the Star Destroyer, because we literally have had, just in the last few weeks, thousands of hits on that because of the Star Wars movie, in the billions. It looks like it's going to do 3 or 4 billion before it's over with. So we had to get that Star Destroyer out. We've sold a ton of them recently, them lighting kits. Guys are building them right and left, and other Star Wars ships, the Millennium Falcon, the, you know, the X-Wings, and, you know, some of the other Star Wars ships. But I hope you enjoyed this, and like I say, you know, just get a hold of us at galacticmodeler.com if you have any questions, or there's something I forgot to cover, or that, you know, I've covered but you're just not, you know, quite deciphering it, or, you know, whatever. But we're very proud of our systems. For the guys that don't want to have AC/DC adapters and millions of light plugs everywhere, and I still like to kid around about the cars. You know, for cars we have these little 3-volt button cell systems, and they're really powerful lithium. And I mean, I've turned the car on, and Christine, and left her on for a week, and she was still lit. I mean, 24 hours a day for a week, 7 days straight on a little lithium power cell, and she was still lit. So, you know, the batteries don't run out, you know, easy, because LEDs, they don't take hardly any draw. And a lot of guys think they need these big 12-volt stomping, systems. It's like, hey, you're not running a car. You're not running an alternator and an air conditioner. You're just running LED bulbs which have no draw. So, but anyway, I've seen a few guys on the internet build cars, and then they got their little battery pack or their little, thing trailing out the back of it, and it looks like the car's dragging a dog turd around. I just get a kick out of it when they could easily put a small, button cell in it and get the same effect and make it look, like a car without dragging a turd. So pretty proud of our systems, because you can, like with the B-9 here, we've got 2 AA's stuck right in his track pump area up in there, and heck, looks great. No wires, no cords, no junk. Also showed you how to connect LEDs and everything, switch contacts, whatever, with CA glue, super glue, and zip kicker. And so for guys that don't want to solder, But anyway, there he is, B-9 robot, finished. He's got his legs on now. He's not just a Hulk. Poor old guy. He's like, Danger Will Robinson. What a cool model. Well, that's why modeling is so fun. You get it done, and a lot of my models, when I'm done with them, I'll leave them set around for weeks and turn them on, and then, over the months I'll go back to them and turn them on, and, I've got about over 100 and some models sitting around, so I can't turn them on all the time. Once in a while I'll turn all of them on, but it's fun. I started quite a few years back after I retired from owning hair salons for over 40 years, and I just thought, I'll just try an enterprise I had when I was a kid, and that's where it all started, and that's where the lighting system started, because I tried to light it, and the kits were so expensive, and circuit boards, and all this junk, and I was like, it's got to be an easier way. So I found the LEDs that have the animation built into them, so you don't need circuit boards. They're all 3 volt, and so they're simple. You don't need any resistors, so you just put the things in, hook up the wiring, hook it to the power and the switch, and you're done. And our most of our kits are half the price of a lot of the big companies that are in the lighting business for models that have circuit boards and all this stuff. And one of the reasons they're so expensive is because of the circuit boards. A lot of them are handmade by the companies. They're all smaller companies like us. They're not Walmarts. But, all of us are doing some pretty good numbers. And I haven't had any of them guys holler at me or, try to cause me any trouble. So I guess they, just think, well, that guy's going that direction, and they're going to stick with their circuit boards and their resistors and all the soldering and all the work. And some guys like that. There are guys out there. We've had guys order our kit and get it, and not many, but a few, and say, this is way too simple. And these are rocket science guys. They want something real complicated with, a lot of trouble and resistors, and, they might only build one model a year, but by God, they're going to have something that, it was rocket science to get it done. And I'm not that kind of guy. I want things easy and to look good, and, I like to take the easy way out and still get the great results. So if you're on my page, you're one of our customers. Anyway, you guys have a great time and have a great new year. It's just turned the corner here at 2016. And B-9 robot, Enterprise E. It's probably not maybe the model that you purchased and got this video with, but if you follow all the, the parts of the video, you can integrate them into any model you're building. All right. Thanks again for watching everything and putting up with my cold. Bye-bye.